Can y'all hear me there at the jail?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good morning. My name is Judge Healis. You're here today for first appearance before court today. I reviewed your probable cause affidavit, and I've already determined whether there was probable cause for your arrest or not. If I found probable cause, you'll be released today. That does not mean that your case is dismissed. It just means that the deputy did not give me what I needed to find probable cause today, and you will be given a new court date. If I found probable cause, I'll ask you some questions to determine whether your bond will stay the same, be increased, decreased, or whether you have any bond conditions that will be imposed against you. Please only answer the questions that I'm asking you here today. They are designed not to violate your right to remain silent and specifically formatted not to get you into any more trouble. You have the right to have a lawyer represent you at each stage of these proceedings. If you cannot afford to hire one, I will appoint the public defender for you today. At this time, I'd like everyone to raise your right hand so I can place you under oath. Solemnly swear or affirm the testimony before the court will be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. All right, put your hands down as I call your name. Please come forward. Joe, do we have everybody there? Is that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just checking. Thamai Headley?
Yeah, come on up.
Ma'am, can I have your date of birth, please?
Date of birth?
6/18/40.
Thank you. You are here today for a battery on a person over the age of 65. I found probable cause for your arrest. Do you want me to appoint a lawyer to represent you?
I don't understand.
Do you want a lawyer?
Would you like a lawyer?
No. No.
No lawyer? Okay. Do you want to represent yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Any record?
No, SB Judge.
Ma'am, I have an address for you on Rosewood Drive in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
Year and a half.
Okay. And do you have a job?
No.
Okay.
I'm retired.
Okay. I need to order that you have no contact with Dennis Walker, okay? Don't have any contact with him whatsoever. Don't call him, don't write him, don't email him, and you need to stay 500 feet away from wherever he's living, working, or going to school, and 500 feet away from his vehicle. Do you understand all of that?
Yeah.
Okay. I need to hold you until 4 o'clock today in case he wants to file any civil paperwork against you. After that, you'll be able to bond out at $500, and we'll see you back to court on June 9th at 9 o'clock. Joanne Tassar? Can I have your date of birth?
1570.
All right. You are here today for a possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for your arrest. Do you want the public defender's office to represent you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it,
Well, hold on
It
a
was
second.
found-
No. Don't say anything else. Just only answer my questions. I don't want to get you
yes,
any more
I said
trouble.
yes.
Okay.
I said yes.
Okay. State any prior record.
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication 2017 for possession of paraphernalia. Adjudications in 2017 for possession of controlled substance, possession of paraphernalia to Willis, and fleeing and loot. And she was on PTI in 2014 for petty theft.
All right. Ma'am, if you want to take a plea today, you want to take care of this case today, I'll sentence you to 10 days in the Hernando County Jail. You get credit for the 2 days that you have in. If you don't want to do that today, that's fine. I can have you take the opportunity to meet with your public defender and come back another day. What would you like to do?
I'll do that.
You want to do the 10 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you understand that by taking this plea today that you're giving up your right to go to trial?
Yes.
Giving up your right to confront the witnesses against you, call witnesses on your own behalf, and you're giving up your right to have the state prove the case against you. Do you want to give up
Yes.
those rights in order to take care of this case today?
Yes, ma'am.
With regard to this possession of drug paraphernalia, how do you plead? You can plead no contest.
Guilty.
I'll accept your plea of guilty, find it's freely and voluntarily entered. Adjudicate you guilty, send you to 10 days in the Hernando County Jail, give you credit for the 2 days that you have in. You will have fines and court costs assessed against you. We won't do the public defender fee, unemployed them, and you will have the cost of incarceration for those 10 days. You need to make payment arrangements for those things at the clerk of court. Sometime within the next week, this release, you will be, sometime within a week after you're released, you need to make a payment plan. So you have about 7 days left. All right, and you don't have much of a record, that's why I'm doing this 10 days, but you may want to reconsider. I saw who you were driving around with. You might want to reconsider.
Yeah.
You might want to reconsider your friends, okay?
Yeah, I just met him 3
Yeah.
days ago.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Thank you. That's it. Thanks.
Sure. Michael Bianconi. Can I have your date of birth?
5/13/81.
You are here today for a violation of probation. It's on a petty theft, and it's based on a warrant signed in September of 2017. So there's probable cause for your arrest. If you want to resolve this case today,
Yes.
hold on, you don't know yet, because you don't know what we're offering yet. Okay. Probation was looking for 30 days. If you want to resolve it today, it'd be 30 days. You get credit for the 2 days that you have in. Is that something you want to take
Yes.
care of today?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand that by admitting that you violated your probation, that you're giving up a right to have a hearing?
Yes.
Giving up your right to confront witnesses at that hearing, call your own witnesses at that hearing, and you're giving up your right to have the state prove that you violated your probation. Do you want to give up those rights in order to take care of this case today?
Yes.
All right. With regard to the violation on this petty theft, 2016-3407, do you admit that you violated?
Yes.
Accept your admission. I find it's freely and voluntarily entered. Revoke and terminate your probation. Sentence you to 30 days in the Hernando County Jail. Give you credit for the 2 days that you have in. You will have the cost of prosecution and the cost of incarceration assessed against you. And if there was restitution ordered on the petty theft case, that will now be a lien against you, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Cody Jenkins. Can I have your date of birth?
9/30/98.
All right, you are here today for driving on a suspended driver's license. It looks like you have an out-of-state driver's license. All right. There's probable cause for your arrest, and let's see if there's any way we can. I have some of his record. In 2019, possession of controlled substance. I think he was put on PTI for that, and then violated his PTI, and sentenced to 145 days in jail. That's the only thing I see, and that's what.
Yeah, I see the withhold on the possession of marijuana too, but that's it. In addition to that controlled
Okay.
substance, that's it.
All right. All right, if you want to resolve this case today, I'll go ahead and give you credit for the time that you have in for the 2 days.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you understand that by taking this plea today that you're giving up your right to go to trial,
Yes, ma'am.
giving up your right to confront the witnesses against you, call witnesses on your own behalf, and you're giving up your right to have the state prove the case against you. Do you want to give up those
Yes.
rights in order to take care of this case today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, with regard to this driving on suspended or revoked driver's license, how do you plead? You can plead no contest.
Guilty.
Accept your plea of guilty if I is freely and voluntarily entered, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Hernando County Jail, give you credit for the 2 days that you have in. You will have fines and court costs of about $450 and the cost of incarceration for the time you spent in jail. You need to make payment arrangements for those things to the clerk of court, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
William West. Can I have your date of birth?
1/7/86.
All right, you are here today for burglary of a dwelling and criminal mischief. Your bond amounts are a total of $26,000. There's probable cause for your arrest. Do you want the public defender's office to represent you?
Yes.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender's office. I think you are you're still on PTI, right? Did you start a PTI program in January?
Yeah.
All right, it's on PTI for 2019 CF 1739. For burglary. Is there any other? Probably not.
There's no other history, but obviously the nature of these charges, so.
Yeah. All right. I need to order that you have no contact with Kimberly and author Blair. Don't have any contact with them whatsoever, okay? If you have any contact with them while this case is pending, you can be charged with another crime and held without bond. I'm going to go ahead and give you a bond on this case. Technically, I can RCO you, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to set your bond at $10,000 each for a total of $20,000. We'll see you back to court June 9th at 9 o'clock. And the public defender's appointment.
Okay.
Peter Gupfield.
Probably the same place. It said it had happened before.
Can I have your date of birth?
8484.
All right. You are here today for a violation of probation. It's based on a warrant signed by Judge Shitzman in October of 2018 for a battery, a tampering, and a resisting a law enforcement officer. So there's probable cause for your arrest. Probation is recommending 180 days in order to resolve your case. If you want to do that, we can do that today, and I'll give you time, credit for the time that you have in a couple days. Would you like to take care of it today?
No, actually, I would not.
Okay.
I was wondering if I could get probation reinstated since this is my first violation.
Yeah, not at this time. So there'll be no bond on that. Do you want the public defender's office?
Good.
We'll appoint the public defender's office. We'll see you back to court on June 10th at 11 o'clock. Daniel Polos. I don't believe Mr. Polos will be reporting to probation today by 3 o'clock.
Bless you, bonds.
All right, Mr. Polos, you are here today for possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for your arrest. I just pled you out on a violation of a domestic violence injunction on Friday, and you were supposed to report to probation today by 3, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And part of that probation included, I believe, a substance abuse evaluation and treatment and random drug screens, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and today we are here for possession of paraphernalia.
Because I need to learn to clean my car out.
I'm sorry?
I need to learn to clean my car out.
Yeah. I do see here that you made a statement to police saying that you are addicted to cocaine as well as methamphetamine. So I'm just telling you what they said. So it's not about cleaning, well, it might be about cleaning your car out, but whatever. Okay, so, and I think we went over your prior record before. There's grand theft, felony batteries, false imprisonment.
Yes. Gotcha. No. I have no batteries.
I'm not seeing that. I know you don't need to say. It's adjudication. I have it right here if you want me to just go through.
Okay, sure.
It's adjudication 2016 for possession of controlled substance. Adjudication 2014 for false ID to second-hand dealer dealing with stolen property. Adjudication 2014 for dealing in stolen property, and another adjudication 2014 for dealing in stolen property.
All right. All right, if you want to take care of this case today, I'll sentence you to 30 days in the Hernando County Jail, give you credit for the 2 days that you have in, and you can report your probation upon your release. Would you like to do that?
So do the 30 days and then go to probation?
Yes, sir.
Is there another option?
The other option is that I will set a bond well above the $1,000 and appoint you a public defender, and we'll see you back on June 10th.
So if I get a bond, I can bond out and then go to probation or no?
Sure.
How much am I bonding?
10,000.
Looks like I've been doing the 30 days.
It's up to you. You can think about it. I can have you come back tomorrow, or you can do it now.
It's a hard decision because I do 30 days and then my car gets repoed and there's no advocate for probation.
you put yourself in a position where you need to make these tough choices, sir. So what would you like to do?
I guess I'm out for 30 days.
Do you understand that by taking this plea for 30 days on this possession of drug paraphernalia that you're giving up your right to go to trial?
Yes.
Giving up your right to confront the witnesses against you, call witnesses on your own behalf, and you're giving up your right to have the state prove the case against you. Do you want to give up those rights in order to take care of this case today?
Yes, Mom.
With regard to this possession of paraphernalia charge, how do you plead? Complete no contest.
No contest.
Accept your plea of no contest. I find this freely and voluntarily entered. Adjudicate you guilty. Sentence you to 30 days in the Hernando County Jail. Give you credit for the 2 days that you have in. You will have the fines and court costs assessed against you, and the cost of prosecution for the time that you, cost of incarceration for the time that you spend in jail. You will need to report to probation within, we say,
Within 48 hours.
48 hours. Within 48 hours after you're released from jail when you do get released, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. All right. Did I get everyone in jail? Yes, ma'am. All right. Thank you. Ma'am. Okay, very good. Good morning. My name is Judge Healis. You're here today for first appearance. Before court today, I have reviewed the probable cause affidavits, and I have determined whether there was probable cause for your arrest. If I found there was no probable cause, you will be released today. That does not mean that your case is dismissed. It just means that the law enforcement officer who made the arrest did not give me what I needed in order to find probable cause today, and you will be given a new court date. If I found probable cause, I will ask you some questions to determine whether your bond amount will stay the same, increase, decrease, or whether there will be any conditions of your release. Please only answer the questions that I'm asking you here today. They are designed not to violate your right to remain silent and formatted not to get you into any more trouble. You are entitled to have a lawyer represent you at each stage of these proceedings. If you cannot afford to hire one, I will appoint the public defender's office for you today. At this time, I'd like everyone to raise your right hand so I can place you under oath. Solemnly swear or affirm the testimony before the court shall be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. All right, put your hands down. Jill, do we just have them there by groups, or is everybody there?
Everybody's there, Your Honor.
Very good, thank you. Could I have Melissa Schrader, please? Good morning. Can I have your date of birth?
Good morning. February 28, 1967.
Okay. You're here today for a violation of pretrial release and driving under the influence. I found probable cause for each of these. You already have a public defender in your other case, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want the public defender to represent you in these cases as well?
Yes, please.
I'll appoint the public defender in both cases. All right. So you have the pending case, 2020 CF 495. It's a burglary of a dwelling, and you have a court date on June 22nd in front of Judge Toner.
Yes.
You are out on a $5,000 surety bond on that case. There's probable cause to believe that you committed another crime while you were out on bond, and therefore I'm going to revoke your bond on that case. So you'll be recommitted on that case, and you will not be able to get out until you take care of that felony case. On this violation of pretrial release case, you are entitled to a bond on this case. I'm going to set your bond at $5,000. I'm going to once again order that you have no contact with the victim. With regard to this driving on suspended driver's license, driving under the influence case, I do show that this is your second DUI within 5 years. I'm going to set your bond at $5,000, and we'll see you back to court on June 10th at 8:15. And both of your felony cases will be on June 22nd in front of Judge Toner. Thank you. Stephanie Statuto. Can I have your date of birth?
6/24/69.
You are here today for a battery on a person over the age of 65, which is domestic and also a domestic battery. There's no bond on each of those right now pursuant to statute, but we're going to do a bond review today, and they're based on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt on May 15th, so there's probable cause for your arrest. Do you want the public defender's office to represent you?
Yes.
I'll appoint the public defender's office. Any other prior records?
No history, Judge.
No.
I'm going to order that you have no contact with Michael Statuto and Georgiana Limonis. Don't have any contact with either one of them whatsoever. Do not go within 500 feet of wherever they live, work, go to school, or their vehicle. No social media, technological contact whatsoever. No third-party contact at all. I need to hold you until 4 o'clock today in case either one of them want to file some type of civil paperwork against you. If they do file that civil paperwork against you, you want to make sure you read it very carefully. It'll be very specific as far as how far away you need to stay away from each of them. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000 each, and we'll see you back to court on June 9th at 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please step forehand. Have your date of birth?
8/16/74.
You are here today for domestic battery. I found probable cause for your arrest. Do you want the public defender's office to represent you?
No, thanks.
You're going to hire somebody?
No.
You're going to represent yourself?
Sure.
Okay. I need to order that you have no contact with Jeffrey Powell. Okay, don't have any contact with him whatsoever. Do not call, do not write, do not email, do not go within 500 feet of where he lives, works, goes to school, or his vehicle. No social media or technological contact with him, and no third-party contact. And I need to hold you until 4 o'clock today in case he wants to file any civil paperwork against you. And does Ms. Forehand have any prior record?
Oh, yes, Your Honor. There's an adjudication 2011.
Oh, sorry, to what?
Hold on 1 second, ma'am.
There's an adjudication in 2011 for DUI first offense. Adjudications in 2005 for possession of marijuana less than 20 grams, and possession of paraphernalia. Adjudication 2004 for reckless driving first offense and possession and a withhold in possession of paraphernalia. Withhold 2003 for false reports to authority. And she has adjudications in 1995 for burglary, grand theft, 4 counts of that, 2 counts of petty theft, and a grand theft. Again, there, and she did 4 years DOC. And that's all.
Ma'am, I have an address for you in Holiday Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you lived there?
10 years.
Do you have a job?
No.
I'm going to set your bond at $2,000. We'll see you back to court on June 10th at 8:15.
Okay.
Benjamin Doherty. Can I have your date of birth?
June 19th, 1984.
You are here today for criminal use of personal identification, uttering a forged instrument, and petty theft. Your bond amounts are currently $18,000. There's probable cause for your arrest, and it's based on a warrant signed by Judge Toner on January 10th. Do you want the public defender's office to represent you?
Yes.
I'll appoint the public defender's office. Any other prior records?
Oh, yes, Your Honor. Adjudication 2018 for petty theft, second offense. Adjudication 2017 for violation of a injunction. Adjudication 2017 for violation of a DV injunction. Adjudication 2016 for petty theft. It's like PTI 2014 for battery and a violation of a DV injunction. Adjudication 2014 for battery. Adjudication 2013 for criminal mischief. He is a multi-source offender, but I could not find any convictions or anything.
Okay. Mr. Doherty, I have an address for you on Spring Haven Loop in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Currently, yes.
Okay. Do you have a job?
I've been working with my brother.
What kind of work do you do?
Cleaning, like post cleaning and stuff like that, post construction cleaning.
Okay. All right, I'm going to keep your bonds the same, and we'll see you back to court on June 9th at 9 o'clock. Kaylin Slaughter. Can I have your date of birth?
9380.
You are here today for burglary of a conveyance, burglary of a structure, possession of methamphetamine, and violation, I think that's it. Burglary of a structure, burglary of conveyance, and possession of methamphetamine. There you go. There's probable cause for each of those. Do you want the public defender's office to represent you?
Yes.
I'll appoint the public defender's office in each of your cases. I do see that you have two pending cases open right now. One of them is fleeing to elude in front of
Looks like Marriott.
looks like Judge Merritt. Yeah, in front of Judge Merritt set for June 26th. And you also have a no valid driver's license set in front of Judge Hitzman on June 3rd. There's probable cause to believe that you committed another crime while you were out on bond on these, since the arrest dates on these are March and April. So I'm going to revoke your bond on the 2020 CF 552 and the 2020 CT 801. We're going to hold you without bond on those cases. For the burglary of a structure case, your bond is $5,000. I'm going to keep that at $5,000 and see you back to court on, it says June 9th. So I'm going to keep it on June 9th for right now, or move it with his other cases on June 26th.
It would probably be best to move them to June 26th. I don't know if that's a pretrial or a regular date.
It's probably it's a pretrial. The other option is to move all of his cases to the June 9th date.
Leave it on June 9th, and we'll move it to June 26th after we finish the bill.
Okay. All right. So it'll be June 9th at 9 a.m. And then with the burglary of a conveyance, keep that for June 9th too. Can keep that bond at $5,000. Actually, set that bond at $5,000 and see you back on June 9th. And then you have the possession of meth. The bond amount is $10,000. So we're going to keep that bond amount at $10,000 and see you back on June 9th. Thank you. Donald Fines. Can I have your date of birth?
10/10/69.
You were here today for a violation of pretrial release. Currently your bond is $1,000. There's probable cause for your arrest. The allegation is that you are, and you don't have to say anything, I'm just letting you know what the allegation is. The allegation is that you're making phone calls to the jail, from the jail, to someone who you were told not to have contact with. That's the allegation.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't want you to say anything that's going to get you in trouble. I'm just telling you what the allegation is, okay? All right. Do you want the public defender's office to represent you?
yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender's office. Have your telephone privileges been restricted since this happened?
Not that I know of, ma'am.
Jail,
I
are
would
you?
like to
No,
say-
hold on a
say
second.
one.
Can someone at the jail tell me whether we're going to restrict his telephone privileges or whether you need something from me?
Right now, he isn't on any kind of disciplinary confinement, but if you would like us to block a certain number, whatever number you want us to block, we can.
Okay. Well, I don't want to say her phone number on the record, but perhaps the state attorney can provide you that phone number today. And I want her phone number. I want him not to be able to call her anymore from the jail. Okay? All right. So the no contact remains in order, sir. I'm going to set your bond on this case at $25,000. I'm going to hold on a second. You already RCO'd on your battery case yesterday, so there's no sense in doing that again. So we're going to see you back to court on June 5th at 9 o'clock in front of Judge Hitzman on this case, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I have your date of birth?
2/20/81.
You were here today for a burglary of a dwelling. There's probable cause for your arrest. Do you want the public defender's office?
Yes, ma'am.
Appoint the public defender's office. He's got some other cases pending, but it looks like this case predated.
Yes, that's what I'm seeing as well.
Yeah. Any other record other than what's pending? Or?
Yes, Your Honor, there is. An adjudication 2020 for trespass, adjudication 2020 for violation of pretrial release conditions, domestic violence, adjudications 2020 for criminal mischief and assault, adjudications in 2019 for possession of a controlled substance and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, adjudication 2017 for possession of paraphernalia, adjudication 2016 for ag assault with a deadly weapon, adjudication 2014, withhold 2014 for resisting without violence, withhold 2010 for possession of marijuana less than 20 grams, adjudications in 2008 for Willis and no motor vehicle registration, a withhold 2002 for no motor vehicle registration. He has some juvenile history as well, but that's it.
Okay. All right, and he hasn't bonded out on his other charges either. So, Mr. Lee, I'm going to go ahead and keep your bond at $10,000. We're going to see you back to court on May 20th at 1:30 in front of Judge Toner. Okay?
And there's no way I can you can reduce my bond for that burglary of an unoccupied dwelling?
I'm not going to do that at this time, but I've appointed you a public defender, and your public defender can talk to the judge assigned to your case about that, okay? And we'll see if Judge Toner is willing to do that.
Good morning, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzman, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. Purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I will determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the state attorney's office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. And if you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me this morning. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Y'all solemnly swear or affirm, tell truth, whole truth, none but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Rachel Hill. There you go. Miss Hill, what's your date of birth?
11/8/91.
So I have two charges today. I've got possession of marijuana and driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, would you like to represent yourself? Do you plan to hire private counsel? Would you like me to appoint an attorney from the public defender's office?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what you got.
Withhold in 2012 this year for possession of marijuana less than 20 grams, and then PTI 2019 for possession of paraphernalia.
Okay. Rachel, I have an address for you on Mendoza Way in Citrus Springs. Is that where you live?
Mm-hmm.
And how long have you lived there?
Since 2000.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
I lost it 2 weeks ago.
Okay. Did you lose it because people are losing their jobs or from something that you did?
No, I didn't do anything.
Okay. All right. I'm going to set your bond at $500 on each charge. That's a total of $1,000. I'm going to have you back in court on the 10th of June. Very important that you reach out to the public defender's office when you get out, all right? Thank you. Kyle Lettington.
And Judge, just to let you know, he does have 1 day prior on that M2 petty theft.
Okay. Morning, Kyle. What's your date of birth?
3/21/87.
Kyle, the charge this morning is a burglary being domestic in nature, interestingly enough. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State, what's his history like?
So his adjudication for Twillis 2019, adjudications in 2010 for possession of cocaine, 3 counts of possession of controlled substance, and looks like a possession of paraphernalia. Adjudication 2007 for possession of alcohol under 21 years of age. Withholding 2006 for permitting an unauthorized person to drive. Withholding 2006 for possession less than 20 grams. Has some juvenile history, and then obviously the open case.
Okay. Kyle, I have an address to you on Willow Street. Is that where you live?
No, sir.
Where do you live now?
847 Freedom Way.
Okay. All right. I'll set the bond on this at $5,000. Condition of this bond is that you'll have no contact with Miss Margit Smith. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact her through social media. You don't go where she lives, you don't go where she works, you don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine having contact with her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond in this case will be revoked. You'll be held without bond until the charges are resolved. In addition, it appears to me that you have an open case today. Job number 1, when you've got pending criminal charges, is don't pick up new charges. Appears to me that you have. Therefore, pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your bond in case number 19MM3337. We'll hold you without bond until that case comes back to court on the 4th of June. Public defender, you're going to be back in court on the felony on the 9th of June. PD will come see you before that, okay?
So, I have no bond?
No bond. Nicholas Lewis.
What day was this one coming back? What day was it?
Morning, Nicholas. What's your date of birth?
12/7/65.
Nicholas, I've got 5 charges today. I've got possession of methamphetamine, possession of hashish, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of ammunition by a convicted felon. Probable cause for all 5. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what you got.
Adjudication 2014 for Twillis. Second offense, adjudication 2014 for Twillis. Adjudication 2014. Possession of marijuana less than 20 grams.
Your Honor?
Hang on.
Another one in 2014 for Twillis. Looks like they all got resolved on the same date. That's all I'm showing here.
Okay. Nicholas, I have an address for you on Suncrest Drive in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
53 years.
Huh? Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I'm a combination pipe welder.
Okay. All right. Now, Nicholas, you apparently want to say something to me. I'm going to caution you again. I'd rather you didn't talk about the facts of the case. Not that I'm not interested, because I am. But sometimes people in your situation can say things they think are helpful, and it turns out they're not. So you can tell me whatever you want to tell me, but I'll give you that warning, okay?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
They have me down as a convicted felon, and I'm not a felon.
I just heard that. Showed something from out of 1986. You got anything like that, David?
Yes, sir.
I'm showing him as a single source offender, and I have a lot of additional paperwork in the back here. There might be something, but
it's not there.
I'm not seeing anything particular in here. No.
Okay. So what I'll do, I'll find PC then for 1 through 4. I'll find no PC for 5. So Nick, if there's some felony, they think there's a felony back in '86. That's 35 years ago. If it's out there, they can still charge you with it, but you'll be ROR on that count, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. so as to the first 4 counts, I'm going to set a bond of $500 on each one. ROR on count 5, so your total is $2,000. You're going to be back in court on the 9th of June. If you get out, make sure you reach out to the public defender's office, okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good, thank you. Kevin, May? Kevin, what's your date of birth?
6/25/93.
Kevin, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. Looks like it's a felony as a second or subsequent. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point to PD. State what he got.
He
has an open case.
Okay. He has the adjudication for Dwellis 2019, withholding 2018 for Dwellis, battery adjudication 2016, battery adjudication 2015, resisting with violence and trespass adjudications 2015, criminal mischief PTI 2013, some criminal history.
And Kevin, I have an address for you on Round Lake Drive in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you been there?
A few months now.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
Yes.
What do you do?
I do landscaping.
Okay. All right. I'm going to set the bond on this case at $2,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Miss Crossley. Did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
I also have to hold you until 4 p.m. Well, I don't have to on you. Okay. This case is coming back on the 9th of June. And then I noticed that you have an open case, case number 20MM842, which is possession of marijuana. As you've also heard earlier this morning, job number 1 when you have open criminal cases is don't commit new criminal cases. Appears to me that you have. So pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your bond in 20MM842. We'll hold you without bond until you get back to see me on the 3rd of June. If we can get that case resolved on June 3rd, then you can bond out on the felony and deal with that. But you'll be in jail without bond until the 3rd. The public defender will come see you before then, okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
Donald Dennis.
Yes, sir.
Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
10/10/69.
Donald, you're here on a charge of violation of condition of pretrial release. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel, or would you like the public defender?
A public defender, please, sir.
Appoint the public defender. I'm going to set a bond on this case of $2,000. I'll have this one come back.
I think the 9th is when
No, hang on. So he's set for arraignment, but not till the 26th of June because he bonded out. Okay. Right.
They're showing 6/5 on the sheet.
Yes, I understand, but the underlying battery is set for the 26th, and I'm not going to leave him for 6 weeks before he gets arraigned. So what we'll do, the 5th is my Friday arraignment, right? Next week and the first week of June.
Yeah, that should be yours because I've got the 12th.
Okay. So what I'm going to do on this case, Donald, I'm going to set the bond at $2,000. I'm going to have it back on June 5th. On your old case, 20MM699, as you've heard several times this morning, I'm going to revoke your bond in that case, hold you without bond. In that case, until it comes back, I'll move that case also to the 5th of June. So both the battery and the violation of conditions of pretrial release will be back on the 5th of June. In addition, let's see. I will further order that you're not to contact Miss Gordon from the jail. You will not call her or write her from the jail until we resolve your case one way or the other. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Thank you.
And Judge, just for clarification on the underlying battery, were we appointed on that?
If you weren't, you are now.
Okay.
You weren't it.
What?
You guys were.
Okay, we were. I was just checking.
Okay. And Sammy Martinez. Morning, Sammy. Date of birth?
May 16th, 1990.
Okay. So, Sammy, it looks like what they did is violate your probation on those cases that you had in drug court, which yesterday I think I held you on no bond anyway.
Yeah.
So now you're still on no bond, and you're still going to drug court on June 4th for all your cases, and you still have a public defender, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
What we do in Martinez?
Good morning, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzman, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. Purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person that committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings, unless and until the state attorney's office is able to prove the charges against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release today, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be, and if you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. Now I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear affirm, tell truth, whole truth, none but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Stephanie Bishop. Morning, Miss Bishop. What's your date of birth?
May 31st, 1990.
Stephanie, you're hearing a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to the charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel, or would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I would like a public defender for now, please.
I'll appoint the PD. State what you got.
No history, Judge.
That's what I figured. And Stephanie, I had an address for you on Deltona Boulevard. Is that where you're living?
Yes, sir.
And you were living with Chris?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a job these days, Stephanie?
Yes.
What do you do?
I'm a dental hygienist.
Okay. Have you been working lately?
Yes.
Okay. And you have children with Chris?
Yes, Your Honor.
How many?
We have 4 together.
Okay. All right. So Stephanie, I'll set your bond at $100. Condition of the bond, however, is that while this case is pending, you'll have no contact with Chris. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. You don't contact him through a third person. Don't contact him through any social media. Don't go where he lives. Don't go where he works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting him, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants the contact. So if he calls you and you hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn and run the other way. You need to understand that he cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision he gets to make. he may contact the state attorney's office and tell them he wants the charges dropped and he doesn't want to pursue this, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney who will be handling your case. So unless that person or your lawyer or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I have to hold you today up until 4 p.m. so that if he wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only would you get your bond revoked, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. Now, Stephanie, is there a person or people in your life who we could trust to facilitate visitation for you and your kids?
That's what I was going to ask. I do, Your Honor. Hopefully I could have that.
Okay, is your mom or his mom or somebody who's around?
Well, I don't have any family. He has parents, but we have close friends that would help.
Okay, who are the close friends?
They live like 5 minutes away there.
Stephanie, I want a name. Give me a name.
Cherie Elman and John Argento.
Okay. So what I'm going to allow contact through those people for the only purpose of arranging visitation with the kids. Okay? Mm-hmm. So what that means is, as long as my no contact order is in place, if you're there for an exchange or whatever's going on, don't chit-chat to Chris about other issues, just about the kids and what's going on, okay?
Yes, can I include his parents as well, Your Honor?
Yeah, who were they?
Christopher Bishop and Tracy Bishop.
Okay. The other thing is, because as long as Chris and the boys are at the house, you're going to have to stay someplace else till we get this thing squared away. You can go by one time to pick up some clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need, wherever you plan to stay. To do that, however, you've got to contact the sheriff's office first. They're going to meet you there with a deputy who will stand by while you get your things and get going where you're going. I'm going to have you back in court on June 5th. It's very important that you reach out to the public defender's office before then, okay?
Will I be told how to do that?
It's a phone number. Look at them up and give them a call.
Okay. Yep. And if I choose to get private representation, I can as well?
You absolutely can do that, and then they'll take care of contacting the PD for you.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck. Chantel Cooper. Ms. Cooper, what's your date of birth?
8/26/1993.
Chantel, you also have a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like a public defender?
A public defender for now, and then my uncle is working on an attorney.
Okay, I'll appoint the PD. And state, what do you tell me?
Looks like all she has is open felony battery on an officer in Pasco.
Okay. And Ms. Cooper, I have an address for you on Avalon Way in Spring Hill. Is that where you were living?
That's where I was currently residing while my grandmother was trying to sell the house, and she told me that I could stay there.
Whoa. Where were you living yesterday? What address?
11250 Avalon Way.
Okay, and I just said, is that where you were living, and you started off on a whole story. The answer is yes, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your aunt lives there as well, right?
Yes, sir.
There we go. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, I do.
What do you do?
I'm a sales representative for Tech Data.
Okay. Also going to set your bond at $100. Also with the condition that you have no contact with your aunt. Cheryl, did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
Yes, I did.
And do you understand that?
I do.
All right. Also have to hold you until 4 p.m. so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction, we know where to find you. Also, you can go by the house to pick up your things, but you must contact the sheriff's office first, and I'll have you back in court on the 5th of June. If you intend to stay with the public defender, make sure that you contact them prior to the 5th of June, all right?
Okay, so just to recap, I am able to get my belongings?
Yes, but you got to call the sheriff's office before you go there.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sammy Martinez. Morning, Ms. Martinez. What's your date of birth?
May 16th, 1990.
Martinez, they have 6 counts today. They have trafficking in cocaine, possession of MDMA, possession of methamphetamine, possession of Suboxone patches, possession of marijuana with intent, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for all of those charges, and it looks like you're currently in drug court on 2 other cases. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And on these cases, then, do you want to have the public defender? You're going to hire private counsel. You're going to represent yourself.
I plan on hiring private counsel, but I'm going to go for the public defender just in case I can't afford it.
Okay. I'll appoint the PD. All right. And then, you guys give me a note that says no bond on these drug court cases. That means she's ROR because she was clearly out.
Right.
Okay. Okay, but she was out on pretrial release to be in drug court. Okay, so Sandy, what we're going to do on these cases, I'm going to leave the bonds per the schedule, which is $25,000 on the cocaine, $10,000 on the ecstasy, $10,000 on the meth, $5,000 on the Suboxone, and $5,000 on the marijuana, $1,000 on the paraphernalia. That's a total of 25, 35, 45, 55, $57,000. But I'm also going to revoke your pretrial release in your drug court cases. That's 17 CF 259 and 19 CF 314. So we're going to hold you without bond on those cases. Those are back in drug court on June 4th. I'm going to send these new cases to drug court on June 4th. And then Judge Angelitis can figure out what happens to you after that, okay?
Yep.
Thank you. Donald Williams. Morning, Mr. Williams. What's your date of birth?
October 18, 1955.
Mr. Williams, you're here on a charge of driving under the influence. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I'll start with the public defender, please.
I'll point to PD. State what you got.
No issue, Judge.
You're just not getting a firm commitment.
And Mr. Williams, I've got an address for you on Coronado Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
3 years.
You have a job these days?
Retired from the Navy, bus driver, and Social Security. No, sir.
Okay. I'll set your bond at $500. I'll have you back in court on the 5th of June. Make sure you contact the PD before then if you're going to stay in that, okay? Yes, sir. Kenneth Foss. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
7/24, 1859.
Kevin, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Helis. She found probable cause for violation of probation. Mr. Smith.
Yes, Your Honor. I spoke with Mr. Story, his probation officer. The primary thing he had left to complete was the DUI school, and Mr. Story indicated that he would have no problem if the court was able to have the VOP pending over his head so he could get enrolled in that. Obviously, with the COVID-19, they haven't been conducting that DUI school in several months.
Right.
Not that Mr. Foss didn't delay in getting that done. It certainly had to be done.
Okay.
So we'd ask that a bond be set on his behalf so that he can take care of that.
All right. So what I'll do then, Kenneth, is I'll set a bond of $500. We'll have you back June 5th. But then certainly when you come to court on June 5th, or when your lawyer comes to court, we need to know what the plan is for the DUI school and what you're doing. The VOP will always be out there, so you're getting out today, but you're going to have to get busy and get these things done if you don't want to go to jail again, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Gerald Freeman.
Good morning.
Morning, sir, what's your date of birth?
12/25/1993.
Gerald, you're here on a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself, going to hire private counsel. Would you like to be public defender?
Public defender into a private counsel.
Okay. State what he got.
Okay, it looks like he's got a few open felonies in St. Lucie for drug charges. Looks like 3 separate cases. He's got a withhold in 2014 for robbery armed. A withhold in 2012 for possession of marijuana less than 20 grams, and I believe he's got a single source of marijuana.
Okay. And, sir, the address I had was Shady Oak Villa Circle in Brooksville. Is that where you were living?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how long had you been there?
6 months.
All right. And is that where Ms. Sampson was living as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
Road construction.
Okay. Answer. Okay. So, Gerald, I'll set your bond at $500. Condition is that you have no contact with Ms. Sampson. Did you hear me explain no contact?
Yes, sir.
You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Also going to hold you till 4 p.m., so if she wants to serve you with an injunction, we know where to find you. Also, you can go by the house one time to collect your things, but you must contact the sheriff's office before you go. I'll have you back in court on June 5th. If you stay with the PD, make sure that you give them a call before then, okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Alexander Yost. Morning, Alexander. What's your date of birth?
July 20th, 1997.
Alexander, we have a number of issues for you. First, I have a possession of methamphetamine. Then I have the keeping of a place for the purposes of manufacturing, sale, or so forth of controlled substance, possession of controlled substance with intent, unlawful use of a two-way communication device, possession of controlled substance with intent, possession of drug paraphernalia. That's on a warrant signed by Judge Helis. And then on a second warrant signed by Judge Helis, we have sale of methamphetamine, possession of methamphetamine with intent, unlawful use of two-way communication device, possession of a conveyance for sale, possession of drug paraphernalia, and driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for all of those. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I'd like to hire a private counsel, but in the meantime, can I get a public defender?
Seems to be the order of the day. And then there also is an open case for driving on a suspended. Is that right, State?
Yes, Your Honor, it's 20 CT 306.
And any other history that I should know about?
I see a withhold for possession of paraphernalia. That is it, though.
And young man, I had an address to you on Arizona Street. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
A little over a year.
Do you have a job these days?
I work with the SPCA.
Alright. So, as to all the new charges, I'm going to leave the bonds per the schedule or per Judge Helis's warrants. So that's $2,000 on the meth. On the first warrant, it's $25,000, $5,000, $2,000, $5,000, and $1,000 respectively. That's $38,000 on that warrant. And then on the second warrant, it's $5,000, $5,000, $2,000, $5,000, $1,000, and $500. So that's $18,500 on that. That should be a total on all of those of $58,500. However, the other thing I'm going to do, job number one, when you have a pending criminal charges, don't pick up new criminal charges. It appears to me that you have. So pursuant to Florida Statute 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your pretrial release in 20 CT 306. So we're going to hold you without bond until you're back in court on that, which is July 14th. Before then, you'll be in court on your new felony charges on June 9th. Public defender will come see you about all of this before you go to court and start making a plan for you, okay?
All right.
Thank you. Good luck. Michael Lorenz.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Michael. What's your date of birth?
9/29/1994.
Michael, you're on a warrant that I signed. I found probable cause for one count of battery being domestic in nature. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like to?
I'm going to hire.
Very good.
I'm going to hire private counsel.
All right, state what you got.
Adjudication 2019 for Dwellis, second offense. Adjudication 2018 for loitering and prowling. Adjudication 2017 for Dwellis. Adjudication 2017 for possession of marijuana less than 20 grams. Adjudication 2016 for possession of paraphernalia. Adjudication 2015 for battery. We have PTI 2014 for petty theft. Withhold 2014 for Dwellis. And kind of violent delinquent history.
Okay. All right. And Michael, I have an address for you on Nucky Road. Is that where you live?
That's where I was living, but I can't stay there no more, obviously. Right. So I've been staying on Normandy Drive.
Okay.
It is 8116 Normandy Drive.
Very good. Yeah, are you working these days, Michael?
Yeah, I work at the same place, Accent Aluminum.
Okay. Okay. So I'll set your bond at $500, Michael. Of course, condition is that you have no contact with Ms. Cornett. Did you hear me explain no contact?
Yes, sir.
And you understood that, obviously?
Yes, sir.
Very good. We'll have you back in court on June 5th. Make sure when you contact your lawyer, you tell them about that court date, okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Jason Taylor. Jason, what's your date of birth?
1978.
Jason, I've got burglary of a dwelling and unlawful possession of a stolen credit or debit card as probable cause for the two charges. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what you got.
Adjudication 2019 for possession of a firearm or felon. Adjudication 2018 for carrying a concealed weapon. Adjudication 2017 for criminal mischief, $1,000 or more. Adjudication 2016 for violation of a DV injunction. Adjudication 2016 for violation of a DV injunction. He is not a state offender. I think some relevant history there. 2008 conviction for disorderly conduct. 2010 conviction for disorderly conduct. 2010 conviction for breach of peace. 2010 conviction for domestic violence. And it looks like in 2010 there, I want to say 2010 convictions for burglary, failure to stop, burn blue lights, and resisting arrest. 2012, it looks like a public intoxication conviction and another disorderly conduct conviction in 2012, and then a shoplifting conviction in 2016.
And sir, I have an address for you on Broad Street here in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
I'm sorry?
I have an address for you on Broad Street. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir. 626 South Broad Street.
Right. How long have you been there?
A little over a year.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes, I was actually working for the hotel.
Okay.
Or the motel. I'm sorry. The trailer park that actually got me charged for this burglary.
Okay. All right. Jason, I'm going to leave your bonds for the schedule, which is $5,000 on the burglary, $2,000 on the second charge. It's a total of $7,000. I'll have you back in court on the 9th of June. If you're able to bond out, you should contact the public defender's office right away. If you can't bond out, they're going to come see you before you go to court, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Jason Scott. Mr. Scott, what's your date of birth?
12/22/1982.
Mr. Scott, you're here in a warrant I signed. I found probable cause for violation of probation. The recommendation from probation is that we revoke your probation and have you do 30 days in the county jail. If you want to accept that this morning, you can. If you'd rather have a chance to speak to an attorney first, you can do that. If you want to talk to a lawyer, you want to take the 30 days.
I was really hoping on getting a reinstatement, another chance at the probation. I violated for non-payment, and I did talk to Mr. Story, and I was.
I'm gonna interrupt you just a second, because everybody standing where you are tells me they violated for non-payment, and the truth is no one ever violates for non-payment. You violated for not showing up. You violated for not getting your community service hours done. Okay, if you report, you won't get violated, but you stopped reporting, or they couldn't get you, they couldn't find you, whatever it is. That's why you're standing here now. I'm not going to reinstate you today because I don't know what's going on. So you are in a tough spot. Because if you say you want to talk to a lawyer first to see if you can get reinstated, that's great, but you won't be back until June 5th. Today's the 13th of May. That means June 5th is 23 days away. And that, interestingly enough, would be your EOS date if you took the 30 days. So you tell me, you want to take the 30 and put this behind you, or do you want to take a chance and talk to a lawyer? But of course, by the time you get back in front of me, you wouldn't want to get reinstated anymore because you'd already have served the 30-day sentence.
Yeah. I guess there's really no option then, other than to...
It's an option. It's just that sometimes when you have an option, the choice is easy. And that's what this is. But you have to make that choice. I can't make it for you.
All right. Let's do 30 days.
All right. You understand, by entering an admission to a violation of probation, give up the right to have a trial by court, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to have an attorney represent you, but you want to give up those rights so we can take care of this today?
I do.
Case number 19 CT 3960, do you admit that you violated your probation?
Yes, sir.
Accept the admission, find it was freely and voluntarily made, revoke and terminate the probation unsuccessfully, adjudicate you guilty of the underlying charge if that was not done before. I'll sentence you to 30 days in the county jail, give you credit for 2 days served. It'll be $100 for the state attorney's office and your cost of incarceration, but that takes care of it, Jason. You just have to finish the time, okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
I'm not point to PD.
He didn't appoint.
I didn't think he did. Bailey Smith. Morning, Bailey. What's your date of birth?
07/28/03.
Bailey, you're hearing a warrant that was signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for 2 charges, possession of controlled substance and petty theft. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Appoint public defender.
Appoint the PD. State.
Yes, sir. He's got a few open felonies. I guess one open felony for ag assault in Pasco, and then he's got 2 open cases in juvenile court. And looks like one is in Hernando, one is in Pasco for drug-related charges and destruction of evidence. And then the rest of his history is delinquent, but given his age, do you want to know it?
No, I don't. Okay. Obviously, he's
okay.
Now, so.
Gotcha.
Bailey, the address I had for you was Jennings Drive in Holiday. Is that where you were living?
Yes, that's my old house, but we got evicted. But my mom stays at my grandma's now.
Is that the Kimball Court address?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna leave your bonds per this warrant, which is $2,000 on the controlled substance, $1,000 on the petty theft. This one's coming back on the 9th of June. If you can't get out, the PD is going to come see you. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzman, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who committed that crime. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release. That is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit of the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the public defender to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you haven't had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me this morning. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. Now I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Y'all solemnly swear affirm, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Suzanne Hodges. Morning, ma'am. What's your date of birth?
3/1/62.
All right, Miss Hodges, you're hearing a warrant that was signed by Judge Helas. Judge Helas found probable cause for 3 charges: fraudulent use of a credit card, grand theft, and criminal use of personal identification. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. Do you plan to hire your own attorney? Would you like me to appoint you as an attorney from the Public Defender's Office?
I need one appointed.
I'll appoint the PD. State any.
Yeah, she's actually on PTI for petty theft. Looks like it occurred on December 20th, 2018. She was actually rejected from that in February of this year. Was given the option to take a withhold or go back into it. She went back into it, and now she is back.
All right, that's it?
Yeah, that's it, though.
Okay. Suzanne, I have an address for you on Broad Street here in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
About 9 months.
Do you have a job these days?
No.
I'll set your bond on these at $500 on each count. That's a total of $1,500. I'm going to have you back in court on June 9th. Very important that you reach out to the Public Defender's Office if you get out, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Kimberly McGibbon? Morning, Kimberly. What's your date of birth?
2576.
Kimberly, I got 3 charges today. I have possession of methamphetamine, possession of controlled substance. What's the controlled substance? P2P, and marijuana. There's probable cause for all 3 of those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Appoint PD, please.
I'll appoint the PD. Steve, what do you got?
She has an open theft case, 20MM588. The state will be requesting an RCO. I can give you the rest of her history if you'd like.
I do.
Okay, she has an adjudication for petty theft in 2013, adjudication 2010 for trafficking in controlled substances, and 2 counts of attempting to acquire controlled substance by fraud. Adjudication 2008 for introducing or possessing contraband in the detention center. Adjudication in 2008 for possession of a controlled substance. Adjudication in 2007 for organized fraud. She has VOPs in 2008, 2009, and 2010. And out of state, she has a withhold in 2016 for trespass and an adjudication in 2017 for a felony theft.
Okay. Kim, they gave me an address on Broad Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes.
Okay, how long have you been there?
A couple months.
Do you have a job these days?
No, sir.
Looks like you have a petty theft pending in front of me. Does that sound familiar?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Kim, on these, I'm going to leave the bonds for the schedule, which is $2,000 on the meth and the controlled substance, and $500 on the marijuana. That's a total of $4,500. Those are coming back June 9th. And the other thing is, when you're out on pretrial release on a criminal charge, job number 1 is don't pick up new criminal charges. It appears to me that you have. So in your petty theft case, which is 20MM588, I'm going to revoke your pretrial release and hold it without bond. Hang on. I am going to move that up to the, let's see, That case is currently set for the 19th of June. I'm going to have it back on the 4th of June. So you're going to be without bond until June 4th. Then we'll see about getting that misdemeanor resolved, and then you can see about bonding out on the felony, okay?
Okay, can I ask how I'm on pretrial when I haven't been to court yet for the petty theft? It was a citation issued.
I understand what it was, and did you want to have the public defender in that case? I'll come see you, talk to you.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to understand how I'm on PTI when I haven't even been to court yet.
You got charged with a petty theft. They gave you a notice to appear. That's a charging document, essentially. So you were out in the world with a pending criminal charge. Florida Statute 903.0471 says that if I see you at first appearance like this, and I find probable cause that you've committed another crime while you had a crime pending, then I can revoke your pretrial release and hold you in jail without bond. Do you understand now?
Yes.
Thank you. Have a seat. Lisa Rish. Mona Lisa, what's your date of birth?
April the 8th, 1964.
Lisa, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Healis. She found probable cause for fraudulent use of a credit card, grand theft, and criminal use of personal ID. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. State, what do you got?
Changed that PTI in 2019 for petty theft. That's it.
Okay. And Lisa, I have that address on Broad Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you been there?
About 3 months.
Do you have a job these days?
No, I don't.
Okay. Set your bond at $500 on each count. That's a total of $1,500. You're going to be back in court on the 9th of June. Very important that you reach out to the public defender's office if you get out, all right?
Yes.
Thank you. James Crockett. Morning, Mr. Crockett.
Morning, Your Honor.
What's your date of birth?
6/24/80.
All right. Mr. Crockett, I have 3 counts today. I have 1 count of possession of a controlled substance, 2 counts of possession of a new legend drug. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please, sir.
I'll appoint the public defender. And Mr. Crockett, looks like you also have an open felony case. Does that sound familiar?
Yes, sir.
Judge, he also has open
I just got postponed. I have a paid lawyer on that case, sir.
Okay. Who's the paid lawyer on that case?
Michelle, I'm not sure. That's Michelle.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do for you this morning, James, on this case, we'll leave the bonds per the schedule, which is $2,000 on the controlled substance, $500 on the 2 misdemeanors. It's a total of $3,000. But as we just discussed earlier on your open case, 19 CF 1942, I'm going to revoke the pretrial release on that case. We'll hold you without bond, but just till Friday. Both of these cases will be back in court on Friday in front of Judge Merritt. But you'll be without bond until then, all right?
So, without bond till Friday?
Yep, and then it's up to Judge Merritt what happens after that, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
This one's 6'9".
I moved them both because this is new felonies.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I synced it up with these other ones.
Which is
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
That will take care of itself.
Yeah, it's probably going to result in felony stuff.
Clarence Ford. Morning, Mr. Ford. What's your date of birth?
August 7th, 1980.
Clarence, I've got 2 charges today, possession of methamphetamine and driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint an attorney from the public defender's office?
Public defender for now.
Appoint the PD. State, what do you got?
Adjudication 2017 for giving false info to law enforcement. Adjudication 2017 for Dwillis. Adjudication 2017 for Dwillis. Adjudication 2015 possession of marijuana less than 20 grams. 2 counts of that. Adjudication 2008 for reckless driving first offense. Adjudication 2007 for DUI damage to property or person. And that's it.
All right. And Mr. Ford, I got an address for you on Maygold Lane in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
No, sir.
Where do you live now?
On 9135 West Street in Brooksville.
Okay. How long have you been on West Street?
That's the house I grew up in, so basically my whole life.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Working for myself, yes.
What kind of work do you do?
Just, handyman.
Okay. All right. Set your bond on the meth at 1,000, on the driving at 500. That's a total of 1,500. You'll be back June 9th. Make sure you check in with the PD's office when you get out, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Emmanuel Okoli.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
01/22/98.
Emmanuel, you've got a charge today of possession of marijuana. It appears that you are also currently on felony probation out of Pasco County. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And so we have a probable cause arrest for a violation of that probation. It's probable cause for both those charges. As to the local charge, the possession of marijuana, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the public defender. I'm going to set the bond on that at $500. That case is going to come back on June 5th. Now, as far as the PC arrest for the Pasco VOP, the bond on that is no bond. It's a felony VOP. If you post the bond on the local charge, if you post the $500, then they'll notify Pasco County that you're here and ready to go. I think we're back to regular transport. Is that right? So Pasco would have 5 days to come get you after you post the bond on the local charge. All right?
I'm so confused.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, I couldn't understand what you said.
Okay. You were on felony probation in Pasco and you've picked up a criminal charge here. So the officer arrested you for a violation of your Pasco probation. So you have a case there now, and you have a case here now. The bond on the case here, the possession of marijuana, is $500. The bond on the Pasco violation of probation is no bond. If you post the bond on the local charge on the marijuana, then we'll notify Pasco that you're here and you've posted the bond. They'll have 5 days to come and pick you up and take you to Pasco County so you can get in front of a judge down there and start dealing with the VOP, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. Jason Abadesa. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
June 15th, 1984.
All right. Jason, you are here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for one count of battery, being domestic in nature. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I'll hire private counsel.
Very good. State what you got.
Mr. Young.
Jason, I have an address for you on Capri Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
No.
Okay, where do you live now?
It's 4429 Augustine Road.
Okay. Is that where Alfred lives?
Alfred, that's my father, yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to set the bond, Jason, at $500. Condition of the bond, however, is that while this charge is pending, you'll have no contact with Alfred. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. You don't contact him through social media. Don't know where he lives, don't know where he works. You don't contact him through a third person. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting him, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that he cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision he'll be allowed to make. He may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. He may tell them he's not interested in pursuing this matter. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person, the judge on your case, or your lawyer tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped, and you should not have contact. As it appears you and he are living at the same address, as long as he stays there, You'll have to find somewhere else to stay. You can go by that Augustine address one time to collect your things, your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need, wherever you plan to go. To accomplish that, however, you must contact the sheriff's office first. They'll meet you there with a deputy who will stand by while you collect your things and get going where you're going. I'll have you back in court on the 5th of June, all right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Craig Barkowski. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
10/5/89.
And sir, have possession of methamphetamine, possession of controlled substance, and possession of marijuana. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point to PD. State.
Yes, Your Honor. He has an open case 20 MM 587 for petty theft to the State Wood Press RCO. The rest of his history includes a withhold 2015 for Twillis, withhold 2014 for no motor vehicle registration, adjudication 2011 for resisting without and disorderly conduct, withhold 2007 for petty theft, and inhaling, ingesting, possessing with intent to inhale, ingest a harmful substance, PTI 2006 for possession of marijuana less than 20 grams, and possession of paraphernalia.
Craig, I've got that address on Broad Street. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you been there?
A couple months.
You working these days?
Yeah, off and on, nothing on the books.
Okay. All right, we're going to deal with this the same way. The bonds on these will leave per the schedule, which is $2,000, $2,500 respectively. That's a total of $4,500. Those are coming back June 9th. As to the pending misdemeanor, I'm going to revoke your pretrial release on that case pursuant to 903.0471, and we'll move that one also up to June 4th. So we'll have you back on June 4th to take care of that misdemeanor, and then you can focus on those felony cases, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Michael Hinstroza.
Good morning.
Morning, Michael. What's your date of birth?
12/05/1997.
Michael, you're hearing a warrant that was signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for a count of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point to PD. State what you got.
He has some violent crimes in juvenile court, but other than that, that's it.
Okay. And Michael, I have an address for you on Coronado. Is that where you live?
That is not where I live.
Okay, where do you live now?
217 Beale Street, Brooksville, Florida.
Okay. But your brother still lives on Coronado?
That is correct.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, for Ajax Paving, they're an asphalt company. I'm on the pipe crew.
Okay. All right, I'm going to set your bond at $100, Michael. Condition is that you have no contact with Dylan. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
I did.
And you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I'll have you back in court on the 5th of June. When you get out, make sure you contact the public defender's office, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. Bruce Inman. Morning, Bruce. Date of birth?
11/22/77.
All right, Bruce. This morning I've got possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, resisting without violence, and driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point to PD. And Bruce, looks like you have a open felony pending right now. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we'll do, Bruce, On the current charges on the cocaine, I'll set the bond at $2,000. On the 3 misdemeanors at $1,000 each. So in this case, it's $5,000. I'm going to move this one to the 20th of May. That's where your other felony is. And then, pursuant to 903.0471, I'm going to revoke your bond in your open case, which is 20 CF 477. So you'll be without bond until the 20th, Bruce. Then all of this will be back in front of Judge Toner, and he can revisit your bond if he thinks it's appropriate, all right?
Well, will I, if he revisits it, will I have to rebond again on it?
Well, yeah, you will. Well, I suppose he could reinstate it. I don't know what he'll do. I just know that you're going to be in jail for the next 8 days. Then all of this case and your old case will be in front of Judge Toner, and they'll figure out where you're going from there, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thanks, sir.
Thomas Light. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
September 28, 1965.
And Mr. Light, you are here on a warrant that I signed. I found probable cause for a violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Have a public defender, please.
I'll point the PD. Bond on that, Thomas, is no bond. I'm not going to change that. I'll have you back in court on June 5th. We'll see if we can get this resolved, all right? Thank you. Richard Major. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
8/31/67.
All right, Richard, I've got 4 charges this morning: driving on a suspended license, possession of methamphetamine, possession of marijuana, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. State what he got.
Adjudication in 2018 for Dwillis habitual. Adjudication 2018 for Dwillis habitual. Adjudication 2016 for the unsold property. Adjudication 2015 for Dwillis. Adjudication 2016 for possession of marijuana less than 20 grams. Adjudication 2016 for Dwillis that are subsequent. Adjudication 2015 for credit card fraud. Adjudication 2014 for Dwillis second offense. Adjudication 2014 for Dwillis second offense. Adjudications in 2014 for Dwillis. Adjudications in 2013. Looks like 2 different Dwillis adjudications. Adjudication in 2012 for Dwillis. Adjudication 2010 for no valid. Adjudication 2009 for petty thefts.
You're good. You're good. Okay. Richard, I got an address for you on Feather Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
10 years.
All right. You have a job these days?
Working for myself, handyman.
Okay. I'm going to set the bond on the driving and the meth at $2,000 each, $1,000 on each of the misdemeanors. That's a total of $6,000. They'll all come back on June 9th. Very important that you reach out to the public defender's office before then, okay? Thank you. Jail, do you care if I do Mr. Flores last so I can call my interpreter?
Yes, sir, that's fine.
All right. So, Thomas Peterson?
We're just going to stand right here.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Peterson, what's your date of birth?
12/9/65.
Okay. Mr. Peterson, we've got 4 new charges today, 2 counts of dealing and 2 counts of defrauding. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the public defender on those. I'm going to set the bond at $2,000 all the way around, so that's another $8,000. I'll move these to May 20th, which is where your other cases are, so everything will be on the same date in front of the same judge, all right?
Thank you so much for that.
Okay. Hi, can you get my interpreter for me?
Pardon?
My interpreter? Okay, call me back. I think they can do termites. Ray. It's only for his living.
have a jail.
Yes, ma'am. Hello?
Good morning, Your Honor.
That's Ryan?
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Okay. All right. So Ryan, I have with me here this morning Ramon Flores Vasquez. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Buenos días, señor Vázquez. Seré su intérprete. Todo lo que usted diga en español lo voy a repetir en inglés. Todo lo que diga el juez en inglés lo repito en español. No soy abogado, no me intermeto en procedimiento de ninguna forma, solamente repito todo lo que se diga.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
What is his date of birth?
¿Cuál es su fecha de nacimiento?
2 de diciembre del 60.
December 2nd, 1960.
Mr. Vasquez is charged with driving under the influence.
Muy bien, el señor Vázquez le acusa de manejar bajo los efectos.
There's probable cause for that charge.
Existe motivo fundado para esa acusación.
As to that charge, does he want to represent himself, hire a private lawyer, or would you like the public defender?
Con respecto a esa acusación, quisiera usted representarse usted mismo, contratar un abogado privado o quiere que le designe un defensor público.
Yo cometí el delito. Yo sé por culpabilidad.
Interpreter repetition, señor. Repítame un poquito en voz alta, por favor.
Yo cometí el delito. ¿Sabes este hombre ahí? Yo cometí el delito y acepto la culpabilidad.
I committed the crime and I accept responsibility.
I'm going to appoint the public defender.
Le voy a designar el defensor público.
Mr. Vitola, did you have any criminal history?
He has an out-of-state DUI, but there's no dispo. Other than that, there's nothing.
Okay. Sir, I have an address for you on Hartwood Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Señor, tengo dirección para usted en la avenida Hartwood en Spring Hill. ¿Es ahí donde vive usted?
Sí, señor.
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
¿Cuánto tiempo lleva viviendo?
Aquí llevo como 2 meses.
Here, like 2 months.
Do you have a job these days?
¿Tiene usted un trabajo actualmente?
Sí, trabajo para empacadora premium.
Repetition, repítame un poquito más alto, señor.
Sí, trabajo para empacadora premios.
Sorry, Your Honor, I'm going to have to ask for one more repetition.
That's okay.
Señor, repítame una vez más, un poquito más alto, si puede.
Sí, trabajo.
¿Que no trabaja?
Trabajo para la empacadora premios, empacadora de salchicha, en una embutidora.
I work for, this is the interpreter again, sorry, Ron. I'm having a hard time making out what he's saying, where it's a company name, but it's too fuzzy to make out what he's saying. I think it's an English word.
That's okay, but he works.
Bien, usted trabaja. Entonces, pero sí usted trabaja.
Yo trabajo con una compañía de empaque de salchichas.
I work with a packaging company.
Okay. When he said he's bonded $500, he needs to be back in court on June 5th.
Bien, le voy a pedir la fianza en $500 y usted tiene que volver al tribunal el 5 de junio.
¿Cuándo la pago? La multa.
When can I pay the fine?
We'll talk about it on June 5th when he comes to see me.
Vamos a hablar de eso el 5 de junio cuando usted me venga a ver.
Oye, ¿voy a estar en la cárcel?
Am I going to be in jail?
He can, his bond is $500. He can bond out. If he calls the bondsman, it'll probably be $100 to get out.
No, su fianza es $500 y si usted quiere llamar a un fiador, pues probablemente le va a costar $100 salir de la cárcel.
Pero yo puedo, porque yo tengo un dinero en el banco, la podría pagar yo mismo si me dan tiempo para ir al banco y sacar el dinero.
I have money in the bank. I can get it on Sunday and I can pay it if I can get the money.
Okay, well, again, he'll have to talk to a bondsman about trying to get out. I'm not going to do anything else this morning.
Bien, usted va a tener que hablar con el fiador sobre cómo va a salir de la cárcel. No vamos a hacer más nada esta mañana.
Ok, pues, ¿cómo puedo conseguir un fiador?
Interpretation. El señor Ortiz dijo, ok, ¿qué más?
Ok, yo voy a tratar de conseguir un fiador aquí.
Okay, I'll try to find a bondsman here.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, gracias.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you. Have a great day.
We're going to go that route again.
Yeah. Joe, you got anything else for me this morning?
No, Your Honor, that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Have a great day. Thank you. Good morning, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzman, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, more likely than not that you're the person who committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence stays with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release today. That is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Y'all solemnly swear affirm, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Katie Kincaid. Morning, Katie. What's your date of birth?
2/24/91.
Katie, I have two warrants for you, one from Pasco and one from Sarasota. The Pasco County warrant is a violation of probation, so the judge that signed that warrant found probable cause for the VOP, set your bond at no bond. The one from Sarasota is for a fail to appear and a violation of conditions of pretrial release. Same thing, some judge in Sarasota County found probable cause for those. Set a bond on the FTA of $5,000 and a no bond on the pretrial release. I can't change those this morning. It's possible that we'll get word that we can change them down the line, but for right now I can't. I don't know in our soft opening here whether Pasco or Sarasota are transporting yet, and I can't make any promises when that will happen, but my guess is Pasco will come and get you first, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Jessica Zach. Morning, Jessica. What's your date of birth?
11/6/93.
Jessica, you're here on a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Yes.
I'll appoint the PD. State what you got.
All she has is a withhold 2017 for leaving the scene of accident and property damage.
And Jessica, I understand, based on what I saw here, that you're moving someplace. Where are you moving to?
To my parents' house.
Okay, what's that address?
13090 Taylor Street, Brooksville, Florida.
Are you working these days, Jessica?
I am.
What do you do?
I'm a front-end manager for Winn-Dixie.
For what?
A front-end manager for Winn-Dixie.
Oh, okay. Jessica, I'm going to set your bond at $50. Condition of the bond, however, is that you have no contact with Mr. Craig while this charge is pending. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact him through social media. Don't have a third person contact him. Don't go where he lives. Don't go where he works. Don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting him, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bond can be revoked. And you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that he cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision he gets to make. He may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or your lawyer or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped, and you should not have contact. In addition, I have to hold you up until 4 p.m. this afternoon so that if he wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. I'll have you back in court on June 5th. Very important that you reach out to the public defender's office when you get out, all right?
Okay.
All right, good luck. Quentin Simmons. Quentin, what's your date of birth?
7/30/1991, sir.
All right, Quentin, you're hearing a warrant that was signed by Judge Rupie, I think. Judge Helis. She found probable cause for 2 charges, a burglary and a battery being domestic in nature. As to those charges, Quentin, you want to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel, or would you like the public defender?
I have a high power counselor.
Very good. State what you got.
Adjudication 2019 for battery. Adjudications 2014, 2 counts of possession of intent to sell, manufacture of cocaine, possession of cocaine, and use of two-way communication device to facilitate a felony. Adjudication 2013 for possession of cocaine. Adjudication 2009. 2 counts of possession with intent to sell, manufacture of cocaine, and possession of cocaine. And a withhold 2008 for no valid driver's license, and he has some delinquency history as well.
Okay. And sir, I have an address for you on Asmara Street in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Sir?
Do you live on Asmara Street?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
Almost 2 years now.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir. Working with my aunt.
What do you do?
Barbecue. Pee-wee's Knockout Barbecue.
Okay. Set the bond on the burglary at $2,500 and on the battery at $2,500. That's a total of $5,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Ms. Waddy. Did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll have you back in court on the 9th of June. Very important that you contact your lawyer and let him know about that date, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
1 second, Your Honor. Go ahead.
I'll wait patiently.
What did you do?
Thank you.
Jessica's okay.
6-5. Sorry about that, Your Honor.
No worries. All right. Drew Richards.
Good morning.
Morning, Drew. What's your date of birth?
6/26/93.
Drew, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint an attorney from the public defender's office?
Public defender's fine.
Appoint the public defender, Steve.
Adjudication 2017 for use of two-way communication device with a felony. Adjudication for purchase of cocaine and petty theft. There's also a DOP out of that. And adjudication 2016 for possession of paraphernalia.
Okay. And Drew, I have an address for you on Bentley Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Well, yeah, currently, sir.
Okay. Is that where Donna Gerke lives?
Yeah, but I have somewhere else to go.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
I was actually recently laid off due to all the COVID-19 stuff going on.
Okay.
But I should be able to return to that job.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but
What were you doing?
I was a supervisor at the Federal Association of Financial Services.
Okay. All right. I'm going to set your bond at $2,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Donna. Did you hear me explain no contact?
Yeah, of
Do
course.
you understand that?
Yes.
All right. In addition, I have to hold you till 4 p.m. so that if she wants to serve you with a civil injunction, we'd know where to find you. As far as that address on Bentley goes, obviously you have to stay someplace else. You may go by one time to collect your things if you need to do that. To accomplish that, however, you must contact the sheriff's office first. Then they would meet you there with a deputy who'd stand by while you pick up your things and get going where you're going. I'll have you back in court on the 5th of June. Make sure you contact the public defender's office after you get out, all right?
All right, absolutely. Thank you.
David Duncan? Morning, David. What's your date of birth?
05/22/97.
David, the charge is driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for the charge. State, what kind of history does he have?
He just has an open dwellers in Pasco. I think that looks like it happened on October 23rd, 2019.
Okay. David, are you working these days?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what are you doing?
Construction.
Okay. Okay. So here's what we're going to do today. I'm not going to appoint you a lawyer because you may not need one yet. And I'm going to release you on your own recognizance on this. Now, I don't know what's going on with the Pasco case, but we'll find out about that tomorrow, I guess, because it looks like there's a hold. On this case, you're going to be back in court on June 5th. And there's two pieces of advice I want to give you. One, start working on paying off your tickets, okay? Because if you get your license back, you're going to make all of this become a dim memory, and you'll be very happy about it. Number two is don't pick up any more new tickets. So that's no speeding, nothing like that, no driving till you got a license. Anything new is going to complicate your life immensely. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So they're going to let you out today. I need you back in court on June 5th, all right? Thank you. James Morrow? Or Mr. Morrow, what's your date of birth?
12/22/95.
Charge is carrying a concealed weapon. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD. Stay with you.
No issue, Your Honor.
All right. And Jim, where do you live? I got an address on Broad Street. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir. I'm a manager at Beepo Brady's.
Okay. All right. Jim, I'll set your bond at $500. I'll have you back on the 1st of June. Make sure you contact the PD when you get out, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And we have Alec Dodge there. Morning, Alec. At the jail, can anybody tell me why Judge Morley sent Alec to me?
Yes, Your Honor. She apparently wanted to check with the first appearance judge here in Hernando to see if they found probable cause.
She didn't find probable cause. And, like, I waited for the...
because of the charge. Because of the charge. Yeah.
It's a Hernando case, I assume.
It's a Hernando case. They brought it in as ag stalking after injunction, which, of course...
Like, I wait...
Just you hang on. You don't have to say anything. There's clearly PC for violation of the injunction. For whatever reason, the deputy charged ag stalking.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at that wondering.
Well, I don't know.
I think I've got that one here.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
For a second. No, I think I saw a good book in this one.
Yeah. But he it's the victim is his dad.
His dad, yeah, I saw
right.
that one.
And there is an injunction, and okay. So I don't have a problem with that. I don't know why anybody uses that charge ever anyway.
Especially because it's an and there. Like,
Yeah.
You have to do a lot of stuff.
You have to do stalking and have an injunction. Yeah. And stalking is tough. All right. So Alec, what I'm going to do is that's fine. I'll release you on your own recognizance today.
Yeah, I can just take a look at it.
Yeah. But be advised. The state attorney's office is going to charge you with violating the injunction because there is probable cause for that. That's just not the charge that they arrested you on. So you're still going to have to come to court, and I promise you you're going to get charged, and it's going to be a second violation within about 60 days. I would contact. It looks like Judge Morley appointed the public defender for you. You still need to contact them. Because this ain't going away. You're just getting out without bond is all, right?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Very good. And you're coming back on June 1st.
Okay.
All right.
You're not there, just don't.
What
Thank you.
bond